A very good morning to all of you, commanders, men and women of the SAF, MINDEF colleagues, D-Stars colleagues, and of course our partners who built this farm itself. Today indeed is a milestone for the SAF. Perhaps I should also share with you a story why it's a milestone for me. Before that, I was told to say that I must officially declare the solar farm open. Okay, now I can carry on with my story. It's a milestone for the SAF because I believe this is the first large-scale solar farm that we have in the SAF. Of course, prior to that, we have tried various other smaller projects to get the concept right. But I should tell you why this is also personally something that is close to my heart. I remember a few years back, and this was before I came back to MINDEF, and this was before MINDEF embarked on this project. We were all talking about how to generate more energy for ourselves, how to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. So someone asked me, so where else can we put solar panels? So my answer at that point in time was that, across the whole of Singapore today, above HDB flats, above the schools, roofs, everywhere that we think we can put solar panels, we have pretty much done so. I had said that there were only 3 other places that I'm still thinking about and hope that we will get a solution. The 3 places were cemeteries, roads, because roads occupy about the same amount of space as all our HDB land take. And then the third one was, I talk about airfields itself. And it was not an easy challenge because coming from a military background, I know that for us to install solar panels in an airfield has its own risks and limitations. We have to take into account the safety requirement. We have to take into account the light reflection. So there are quite a few technical challenges that we have to overcome. And that is why, personally, I'm very happy to see the SAF embarking on this. Because this is more than just a project for the SAF. It is also a proof of concept for a larger issue, which is that if we can overcome some of the safety security challenges, some of the technical challenges to install solar panels in places or parts of the airfield, then potentially this concept can also be enlarged to other airfields or air bases. It doesn't mean that we can do this for each and every one, because each and every airbase will have its own unique requirements, its own unique operational challenges. But to be able to start off with Sembawang is something of an achievement. And one can also make the argument that for Sembawang, it's perhaps even more challenging than, say, Palembang or Changi, because for fixed wing or air bases that caters to fixed wing, the general approach for the planes are quite well determined. Actually, for a helicopter airbase, the direction of approach is much more varied compared to the fixed wing. And that is why the operational challenges is also much higher for Sembawang. So on that note, I should congratulate the team from Sembawang, our D-Star engineers and our partners for making this possible. Thank you all very much for allowing this to happen and to be able to show the proof of concept. Thank you. Now, having said that, today's project is also part of a larger national drive for us to strengthen our energy resilience. I know some people will make this argument that even if we cover up the entire Singapore with solar panel, it will not be able to meet a certain percentage of our overall energy use. That is one way to look at it, but there's also another way to look at it. Every bit that we can do to diversify our energy needs, every bit that we can do to strengthen our energy needs, every bit counts. And that is what we are determined to do. And while today the solar panel efficiency is about 20 to 30%, there's nothing to say that with technology advancement, the efficiency of the solar panel cannot generate a higher amount of energy per square meter or per square feet. And I think we have also some people doing interesting work in NTU to see how we can enhance the efficiency of our solar panel. And with that, we'll be able to generate even more renewable energy to diversify our resilience on fossil fuel. And diversification will continue to remain critical. And this comes to another story. In the last 50 years, water was our most binding constraint, if you like, to our own development. From 1965, the day that we were independent, water was an issue, was an existential issue. Today, we have the technology to purify water, to do reverse osmosis, so we have new water, and so forth. But what that has done is that it has shifted our dependence on pure water to what we call the dependence on energy. So if the last 50 years, our biggest challenge was energy, from the resource perspective, the next 50 years, our biggest challenge will be clean, sustainable, renewable energy. And if we can get enough clean, renewable, and sustainable energy, then we don't have to worry so much about the water, because today we already have the technology to do so. So going forward, this quest for energy resilience is not just something that the SAF will work on, it is also something that the whole country will have to work on. And that is our next big, hairy, audacious goal, or the BHAG. How do we, in the next 50 years, become much more energy resilient? Now, besides generation of sustainable energy, which we will put in a lot of effort, the other part of the SAF work, together with the larger national effort, must be this. And that is how we manage our power consumption. So generation of energy is about supply. What we need to do very carefully in the SAF is also what we call the demand management. And that will require new expertise from how we design our system upfront to minimize the need for energy. And increasingly, there will be more and more systems that will require energy across all our various platforms. So it's important for us within the SAF, together with our D-Star and DSO partner, to look at how we do our demand management from upstream design to downstream maintenance. So with that, we will be able to strengthen our demand management and also our supply resilience. We will require new knowledge in how we design our systems, diversify our reliance on different energy sources, how we manage the distribution of energy across the entire SAF operating systems, and also how we store energy for operational purposes. So these are all new areas of work which SAF and D-Star, together with DSO, must work closely on. Now, last but not least, we are also doing this amidst a backdrop of climate change. Climate change is not just only about finding renewable energy sources or becoming less energy dependent. Climate change also impacts the SAF in our operations and training. And for the SAF, we must learn to operate in this new environment. There's no going back, thinking that, well, this will pass, and then we'll go back to the old ways of doing things, and then we just have to mitigate the interim challenges. What we need to do is to focus our mind and ask ourselves that with the climate change, take it as a given, how will we change our operations? How will we change our training? If you look at Sembawang Air Base, with more days where there are more unpredictable weather, how do we operate and operate safely is a big operational challenge. It's a big operation challenge. And I think I have seen your efforts behind the scene to make sure that our operations continue to be safe, even with the new weather patterns. That's for operations. Another example will be training. Yes, the days are getting hotter. There are also more unpredictable temperature change. How do we prepare our men and women to be acclimatized to all these new weather patterns will also be part of the very important operational and training preparation for our servicemen. Again, together with DSO, we have to work out new work rest cycles. We have to work out new patterns of acclimatizing our men and women in the SAF to prepare to operate in this very different environment. And I'm confident that together with DSO and D-Star, we will have the technical know-how and the gumption to make sure that we execute all these plans properly so that from end to end, our preparation, our servicemen for this new weather pattern will enable them to perform just as effectively as they have been before. So on that note, congratulations to the team from Sembawang, D-Stars, and our engineers who have made this solar farm possible. But today I thought it's important for us to remember the larger issues that we have to confront, which is power management for an expanded SAF orbit that is more technologically dependent, and also to evolve the way we prepare for operations and training given the climate change implications. On that note, thank you very much and have a good day.